Hi, I'm Anthony Ehresmann, and welcome to Urbana Leader. Tonight we have two great guests from Mad River Red Cross, and the first one here is Nathan Alexander. I'm sorry, Nathan Alexander, and I'm gonna say it wrong again.
Mildrina Brown.
Mildrina Brown. Mildrina Brown. Thank you very much. I appreciate you helping me out on that because I would have never gotten through that. And so we're going to we need to find out some things about the Red Cross. And first, I think we should go with the most pressing thing that people have. I mean, we just had a flood.
Yes, we did.
Did you guys get a lot of calls for that?
Yes, we did.
We had Ike come through. Who knew we would have a Class 1 hurricane come through Urbana, Ohio, you know, where we could actually fill out a hurricane FEMA report. I mean, really kind of strange things are going, these are strange days. So I think one of the things that's on people's minds is how can I be prepared? Am I prepared? So one of my first questions would be, what is the largest disaster threat in our community today? If we had to look at it today.
As far as numbers wise, we see more of the winter storms and severe wind and things like that, and that's something we're going to see every few years, maybe not on par with what we've had this past year, but it's something we see pretty routinely. But as far as biggest impact would be something like a tornado or earthquake, just those things we don't think about and we don't face every 2 or 3 years that are going to impact such a wide number of people.
Right. So it's not the floods.
Right.
It's not the Ikes.
Right.
It's just your regular everyday windstorms that we just recently had one that was pretty nasty.
Right.
I remember I was sitting out on the porch I was with our mayor, Ruth Circle, and we were out on the porch and watching people's roofs fly off and go, oh, I hope somebody's going over there to help them out. Now, how can we get prepared for those kind of events? How can we be prepared?
The general preparedness for everything from a fire to a tornado to a hurricane coming from Texas into Ohio somehow is basically the same. The first thing is for a family is to have a family plan as far as what escape routes are for you and your kids for no matter where you're at in the house. At least 2 escape routes. Also,
so 2.
Right.
Yes.
You want to have the primary and an alternate.
Okay.
Whether
And
that's
what
a
if
door and a window.
What if you're in a 2-story building? Should we have like a ladder? Should there be a route that you can at least jump down to the ground from?
Right. A fire escape ladder. If you're in that situation where there's no roof you can jump onto and have someone catch you when you jump down or something like that, then absolutely a ladder. 2 foolproof, secure ways to get out is the first thing. So have a family plan, and it's going to be different for everyone. Have that plan for the family. The second thing is to be prepared. Basically build a kit of the things you're going to need if you're snowed in. We've all been snowed in this area, for 2 or 3 days at a time. Even if you can take, your car or truck out, you know what it's like to be stuck at home with no power for several days. You know those items you're going to need. Each family should get that specific list together of things that they're going to need and have that on hand. Throw it all in a backpack, whether it's canned food, water, things like that. And don't forget about pets. A lot of people forget about what to do with their pets.
Right.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
My daughter and I built a kit, so it's a great way for parents and children to come together and do something.
Like a craft project.
Yes,
and make it fun.
And make it fun. Okay. It does 2 things.
Well, and if you're a kid, that's the one way to make sure you got what you want in there.
That's correct.
Make sure you got that 3 Musketeer bar in there.
That is true. And she has hers beside her bed, and then I have another one for her at another place, at one of the exit places, just in case.
Right.
So it is a good thing. It's a family gathering. You can get together and bond with your children while doing so. Now,
there was a thing that was going around on the internet called ICE, in case of an emergency. And do you recommend doing that kind of thing for cell phones, to have a call plan? Who am I going to call? Once we get out of the house, or if there's a disaster, or if I hear that my parents in Inglewood just went through a tornado, how am I going to get a hold of them? So,
Right.
So that would be one of the things that
Right, absolutely. Have someone local that you can call if you have something like a house fire or just a localized flood, like the flash flooding we had here. Have someone local that you can contact, family member, friend. That way everyone can get in touch with them and let them know that they're okay. And if we have something big like a tornado, you're not going to be able to call someone in the county. So you need to have that backup plan, someone who lives, you know, an aunt or uncle in Iowa or wherever that you can call, that you can all get the message to and from each other somehow.
Right, right. So
you
you
need to
can
have that
network it,
right.
you know, pass it along and that kind of thing. Okay.
And also through the Red Cross, for those who have families, especially in like a hurricane zone, say you have, you know, grandparents or parents or whatever in those areas, the Red Cross has a website called Safe and Well, where your family member can register on there up to before the storm, anytime, today or tomorrow, doesn't matter. And then if ever they're impacted somehow, they can go to a Red Cross shelter or through any Red Cross worker, and they can update online for the family to see where they're at, that they're okay, or they're in this hospital, or they've been moved to Dallas or wherever they had to go. So that way, when phones are out and all traditional means of communication are gone, they have that backup plan.
Okay, and what's that web address?
You can find it at www.redcross.org, and it's called
we'll have
Safe and Well.
Put a little
Right.
tag down there.
Right.
Okay. So we know how to prepare for it. How does the current economy affect the American Red Cross, especially here in the local area?
Well, of course, contributions have a lot to do with how we can help people. So contributions are down, but we find that when contributions are down, people are more giving in other ways. Volunteering. And the ways that people can volunteer would be their time.
Right.
Give their time. We would like to have, you know, at least 20 volunteers to cover for things like disasters. The windstorm came through. It would have been lovely to have 20 people out there going from neighborhood to neighborhood, just checking on people and seeing how they were doing.
Right.
There are a lot of people that give their buildings for our blood services, and to have that there. Again, that is good because people are coming in, they're giving their blood, they're sustaining a life. And of course, the main thing is the money. We have to work with less, but we're giving more.
Right.
We're finding out that people are using alternative methods for heating. We're finding out that you know, people don't have the money to go to a doctor. So in order for us to be able to train in CPR and first aid,
Right.
being able to give that to them, to at least, you know, if something does happen, if they need CPR, there will be someone around to give it to them.
Right. And I would, and I don't know if people know this, you know, you don't have to write a $100 check.
No.
You know, when I was at the Humane Society, we used to get envelopes full of change from little girls, you know,
Yeah,
and then say their cat gave it, which I thought was very cute. And those were the ones that I enjoyed most, because here's somebody who obviously didn't have a whole lot. I mean, she's a little girl, so, and it's in change, and so that donation meant more to me than the $100 or $2,000 donation, you know, because this is a person who did it out of their heart, not out of their pocketbook. And so that's just as important, and I'm sure that you guys you don't have to have the big one. If we can afford to do $5, then, you know, we should give $5.
and we thank those people that are donating. I did some searching and some research, or I did some researching, I'm sorry, and there are 15,000 families within Champaign County. If every family gave $1 or $5, just think of how many people that would affect.
Right, right. And what do you think? What is your currently the biggest need?